Hello, Kyle here, coming to you with another video, and this is going to be about the COVID outbreak. It looks like the CDC has a new policy now saying that you don't have to wear a mask anymore if you've been vaccinated. And so what I find interesting is not that news, but the fact that we've sort of been saying, not me on this channel, haven't really talked about COVID much other than the timeline we did a year and a half ago. But I find interesting is how the media has created so much fear in people. I'm going to rattle off some numbers here of people who are vaccinated and people who are unvaccinated based on some polling data that we've seen. And what's curious about this is that the people who are unvaccinated are far more secure in their health and their safety than people who have been vaccinated. It's really, truly incredible. And I blame this specifically squarely on the media for putting forth such fear into people. And we see the panic that people do when anything comes up. If there's a gas spike where you can't get maybe fuel for a day, or there's a hacking with the pipeline, you're seeing people go insane. It's the same mindset when people go out and buy all the bread and all the milk once it snows. It's the same mentality of the people. For some reason, when someone said, I'm out of toilet paper, they're going to buy up the entire shelves at Costco for toilet paper, when they could literally have gotten whipped by on half of that for the entire year, let alone for a month or two for the chance that the supply chain could be back online. It's utterly ridiculous. And so I have this article here that health experts were wrong again. This is by Bobby Burak. He's of Outkick. How many times can a group of experts be wrong before they lose the title? Does the title mean anything anymore? Health experts told us repeatedly that bars, gyms, and restaurants would become hotbeds for COVID-19, spread as states began reopening in the spring and summer of 2020. Go there and you might die, they warned. It turns out they were wrong, very wrong, wrong as factually incorrect. Now, I'm not giving any advice on this channel, but if you know me personally, you know where I stand on this. ABC analyzed public data that not only found that bars, gyms, restaurants, nail salons, barbershops, and stores were not hotbeds, but they only accounted for a small percentage, if any, of the new outbreaks after the initial wave of COVID last year, if any. And they're saying it's around less than 5%. And they found this out when going to Texas and in Florida, comparing it across the country where they didn't have the lockdowns. And, I don't want to come out here and say, I told you so, because I really didn't tell you so on this channel. My inner circle, maybe so. But it's just, I think it's almost common sense in terms of the survival rate of COVID. Under 50, which is what they're saying, what they've been saying from the very beginning. Well, many people have been saying that, but the CDC has been all over the map in some of this stuff, that you have less likely a chance of being killed by COVID than you do. We have a greater chance of being hit by a car or, driving to work or any other likely cause of death in this country. But COVID is way low in that regard. So let me go through some of these stats. I'm going to keep this video kind of short. So check this out. So they polled people who were vaccinated versus people who were unvaccinated. 44% of people who are vaccinated are afraid to go to a restaurant. They're vaccinated. Get this. 43% of people who are vaccinated are afraid to go on a date. 53% of people who are vaccinated are afraid to rent a car. 23% of people who are vaccinated are afraid to go to a concert. 29% won't go to a sporting event. 27% won't go to a gym. 30% won't go to an amusement park, and so on. And people who are unvaccinated, 47% of people are totally okay, unvaccinated, to go to an amusement park. 42% are totally okay with going to a sporting event, and 42% are perfectly okay with going to a concert, and so forth. So it's like double the number in many, many cases. And so, for all practical purposes, COVID, I say this loosely, according to what I'm hearing here, is effectively over. And so I think at this point in time, I think the point really is that this is winding down. But I think the key part of this video is just understanding how toxic the media is to instill that kind of fear in people. And it makes absolutely no sense. Here's an article here at ABC. It says here, bars, gyms, and restaurants, those were just few settings health experts warned could become hotbeds for COVID-19. We just talked about that. And I want to key in some areas here of states that were having issues. You have California, Illinois, North Carolina, Michigan, and District of Columbia. If I'm not mistaken, every single one of those have Democrat leadership. And governors and DC would have a mayor. So you can leave that to yourself. You're not seeing Texas, you're not seeing Florida on any of these lists. You're not seeing North Dakota, South Dakota, any of this stuff. So what do you think? Do you think things are opening up? You're going to go to a bar this weekend? You're going to go to a sporting event this summer? If there's anyone you can really go to, because there's other issues, not only going to it safely, but do you want to go to a sporting event with the SJWs in full effect and the wokeness going on? So that's neither here or there. But hypothetically speaking, if that wasn't going on, would you go to one? Or would you go to like a UFC event, one that you know is going to be worthwhile going to? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be curious to know what you think. If you like what we do in this channel, we take culture, TV, movie, news, and politics and filter to you in a conservative manner. In other words, filter to your right. And please click the like and subscribe button and that bell icon so you don't miss any future content. It's a join button there if you'd like to hit that to support this channel. You can do that and find out how to do that. And also, please check out some content that we have right here.